Coach Eric Orton here for another episode of Running with Eric. Thanks for tuning in as always. And it's the last day of May 31, and we've had a full month of the trails opened here on the National Forest in near town. So all the trails around my neighborhood. So feeling pretty good about getting out and how I'm feeling, and my climbing legs, and things are really shaping up as the wildflowers are starting to pop in the lower elevations. Still can't get above maybe about 8,500 feet with snowline. So again, I use this time to use kind of the local in-town trails for a lot of the training, a lot of the climbing, and then as the snow melts, get higher and higher and higher, which acts as nature's form of training. But what I want to talk about today is, like I said, it's the last day of May, and June 14th, 15th is the Bighorn Ultramarathon in Sheridan, Wyoming, which is kind of north central, northeast part of Wyoming. And it's an iconic race. Maybe it kind of goes under the radar nationally and internationally, but it always fills up, always gets great participation and great race directing, great course. So I have 3 athletes going, and one of those is a gentleman from England who I've been coaching for several years now. And so obviously he's coming from sea level to the high altitude confines of Wyoming and the Bighorn course. And early on this year, he sent me an email about his concerns about, hey, what can I do to combat the altitude? Hey, I'm live at sea level, can't really train for the altitude, but what can we do? And I told him there's kind of 3 things that we need to focus on. And number 1 is combating altitude. The most important thing is always come into the race as fit as possible. Duh, that sounds kind of what you'd want to do anyways, but I think there's a certain level of ease to that if you know, or my athletes know, that, hey, combating altitude is all under our control. And the only thing that we really do have control of is how we train for it. And going into that race, as I mentioned, is the best way to control and to mitigate the effects of altitude when we don't have an altitude tent or have the ability to train at altitude. Now, having said that, he has spent 2 weeks in the Alps on 2 separate occasions getting some altitude training, and he has done other ultramarathons at altitude. So for any of you out there that have experience with altitude, whether it's traveling, running, travel, or racing, your body doesn't forget that. So that experience is crucial as well. But getting back to training, what you can do to kind of combat altitude and training, as I said, come into the race as fit as possible. So that means I always get a bunch of sweat on my lips. There, is it good? All right. So in training, do a lot of your base training, very, very easy. If you have my book, The Cool Impossible, Zone 2, Zone 3, he's doing a lot of that, as all my athletes are, but to lay that foundation, that aerobic foundation, that, again, the better your engine is, the better you're going to be at altitude. So a lot of base miles, very, very easy. I did an episode back in the winter talking about the importance of easy running, so go check that one out. But again, laying that aerobic foundation is going to help you at altitude. Then, whether it's on treadmill, primarily on treadmill, since you don't have the hills that maybe are as long as a mountainous race like the Bighorn is, you want to do a lot of threshold training climbing. So again, using the treadmill, jack the treadmill up and do long sustained climbs at your threshold or just below your threshold heart rate. So again, with my book, it's Zone 5, Zone 6. Zone 5 is just sub-threshold, keeping you aerobic. Going into Zone 6 is right at your threshold. It's a 4-beat differential, and that's key. So you want to stay right at that. So building your time at threshold, just like you might build your long run, is key going into the race. So that's number one. Go into the race as fit as possible. Number two, hydration. If you're coming from sea level or lower elevations, you're probably used to a little bit more heat and a little bit more humidity. Therefore, when you're out working and running hard, you're sweating more. You can feel it, you can see it, you can taste it. At altitude, the air is drier, it's a little cooler, and you don't realize how much you're sweating because it evaporates before as it's forming on your skin. So you don't realize how much sweat you're losing during the race. So coming into the race that week, hydrated as possible, and probably looking to increase your hydration more than you're used to during the race. So, you know, that could be 1 liter plus per hour, and you want to also increase your electrolytes with that too. So, you know, maybe notice that a lot of times people don't maybe realize how much electrolytes they do need, primarily with the sodium content of looking to get maybe over 500 milligrams per hour of sodium. But it's kind of a personal thing. Play around with it in training, but that's key. Again, electrolytes and sodium help you hydrate. They work together, okay? You can't just drink and flush everything out. You gotta do both. So again, hydrate going in, practice hydration in your training so you're constantly drinking. And again, it's more of a constant flow of water into your body than kind of gulping all of it all at once and then going long periods of time without hydrating. So be consistent. And number three is that, so again, number one, go in as fit as possible. Number two, hydrate before and during the race. And number three is race strategy, okay? So again, Bighorn, the ultramarathon, very hilly course, a lot of climbing, a lot of descending, you know, something that you have to obviously train for as best you can where you're at, but race strategy can help you with the altitude, okay? So my normal type of strategy is to back off on the uphills so you're managing your effort and then take advantage of the downhills, okay? That's the time where you're able to go your fastest because you have gravity working with you and you're able to run faster, obviously, than you're running uphill, okay? So when we're running downhill, taking advantage of that speed, it's also a time where the altitude's not affecting us, okay? So employing a crucial race strategy, regardless of whether you're at altitude or not, but in this regard, we're talking about altitude and how you can take advantage of it. Always take advantage of the downhills, okay? If you're going so hard uphill that you have to walk the downhills, you have to switch it up. Walk the uphills. Manage your effort on the uphills. You're not going to lose that much time backing off a little bit, but you're going to lose a lot of time if you're having to walk downhill or recover downhill. If you're finding yourself needing to recover downhill, you're going up too hard, especially the longer the race. Okay, so take advantage of the downhill when altitude's not a concern, and relatively speaking, you're able to go a lot faster. Okay, you can make up maybe 1 or 2 minutes per mile by running well downhill appropriately than if you're having to walk or recover downhill. You might be, you know, you're losing a lot of time per mile, whereas backing off on the uphills, you might be losing 15, 20 seconds. But you're also gaining or not sapping yourself of all that energy and needing to require more energy and more fuel. So, okay, that's it. Try it out. Again, 2 things that you do during the race. Number 2 is hydration. Number 3 is race strategy. But then number 1, something that's real controllable throughout the whole training process, is train your body to be aerobically efficient by long, easy runs, and then really attacking your threshold with treadmill runs. So, all right, I'm the only one out here on the trail today, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate you chiming in. As always, appreciate any comments you have, any suggestions on topics. That's super helpful for me to know what you guys are looking for as far as content. So leave them at the bottom of the video, and again, thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next week. Adios.